Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm testing out a BB cream BB foundation. I'm going to be testing out the Aqua Petit Jelly BB from Holika Holika. I purchased this from iHerb and it was about 12 or 13 Canadian dollars. And then I paid another $6 shipping. So it worked out to be about $18. Now Holika Holika does have a Canadian website, but for whatever reason it was like more expensive, like we're talking 20 bucks or something. And then shipping was on top of that as well. And Amazon had it listed for like $23 as well. So the cheapest I found it was on iHerb, but it still came out to about $18 Canadian. Americans like this because it is really cheap, really affordable. But as a Canadian, it definitely is kind of a little bit more expensive and a little bit harder to find. The packaging is really interesting. It's basically a spatula and this little glass container. The packaging is actually quite nice and quite heavy. It feels very like deluxe. And the consistency of the product itself is really weird. It's like literally jelly with bunches of, I guess, foundation stuck to it. It's very bizarre. It's nothing like I've ever seen before. This stuff only comes in 2 shades, which is a bit of a disappointment. This is the lighter of the 2 shades, and the other shade was just a tiny bit darker. So there's really no shade range out there for people. And I would say this is maybe even half a shade too light for me. Skin-wise, I'm doing okay. I washed my face and moisturized like normal about half an hour ago. And I'm feeling okay, maybe a tiny bit dry. But I'm not going to put anything else on. I'm just going to go in with the BB cream. And it does come with this sponge. I've used it a couple times and it does clean up really well. But this sponge is really hard and really like rubbery feeling compared to a beauty blender, which is really soft, and like when it does bounce it kind of like pillows into your face, whereas this, it really like, I don't know, it's like slapping your face. And it also has a really bad smell to it, like really bad smell. So anyway, I have the product on my hand and I'm just gonna apply to my face using the sponge. I've used this stuff since I received it, so I want to say that's a couple weeks ago. And one thing I don't like about the packaging is I feel like I always take a little bit too much. Although using this sponge, usually I use my beauty blender and just add it on my face. I feel like this sponge maybe soaks up a little bit more product because I used a fair amount and I'm only really covered half my face here. This sponge is really not great. It's good for getting under your eye. That's all the nice things I can really say. It's smelly even after washing. It's not super comfortable. It doesn't really bounce into the skin. You kind of more drag it across the skin. And yeah, not my favorite sponge. But anyway, there's half covered and half not covered. You can see it doesn't like super cover up all your acne, but it does a fairly nice job at kind of evening things out. It does feel nice and moisturizing, which I like. I feel like you get more use out of it if you kind of dot it on your face first, so that way your sponge isn't just like absorbing everything. Alright, and there's the coverage sort of evened out. You can see it really does do a nice evening all around, and it feels very light and comfortable on the skin. Like, I don't feel like I need to powder after, which is quite unusual. A lot of times I do like to, well, I just feel like you get too much shine or something if you don't powder, but this stuff is really nice. I'm just going to scoop a little bit more out, and I'm just going to apply it directly to the sponge and onto the places that I need a little bit more coverage. And obviously it kind of depends on your personal taste, but I find if I kind of go in for sort of a thicker, heavy coverage where I feel like I need it, I usually just skip concealer on my acne. Although I do powder on these places because it is on quite a bit thicker. So I'm just going to quickly powder my acne areas using my Laura Mercier powder and just my beauty blender. I'll just kind of let that bake down. So yeah, I'm just going to check back with my makeup. Give me a second. Alright, I'm back, and here is my look for today. So the foundation looks really great. It looks, or I guess the BB cream, it feels like I'm not wearing anything, and it has a really natural finish. I do have a little bit of highlight on my cheek, but everywhere else it's kind of a nice like velvety matte, and it kind of feels like a nice velvety matte too. My chin, I would say, is looking just a little bit cakey. Of course, I do have a lot of stuff going on down there, and I did powder down there as well. And I am gonna set everything just to kind of take that cake down with my NYX. Thanks, Nancy. NYX spray. I love using a setting spray, so I always use one. Cool, so I'm just gonna wear this for the next 12 hours, and I'll check in at the end of the night and throughout the day to show you what it looks like. So here we go. It's the end of the night. It's 11:20-ish, and I'm checking in for my final check-in. It's been a full 12 hours. My skin does feel really comfortable. I feel just the tiniest bit greasy. I did a quick blot around, I want to say like 8 o'clock, just to kind of soak up some of the oil. It was kind of feeling heavy, and since then the heaviness has definitely gone away, and I feel really comfortable. I think it looks pretty nice. So overall, I really enjoyed wearing this, and I do agree with my fellow YouTubers that this is definitely one that you should check out if you haven't already. I think it's quite a bit of coverage compared to what I was expecting for a BB cream, and it is nice and buildable in the areas that you need it. It's nice because you don't feel like you need to powder, but it doesn't make you super greasy, and the finish is just really nice and natural feeling. I really like it a lot. The sponge that comes with is definitely forgettable. I'm not going to be holding on to this. I think either just putting it on with your fingers or using something like a beauty blender is definitely a better way to go. Overall, I'm going to give this stuff, I think, a 4.5 out of 5. I really don't have too much to complain about it. It did get a little bit heavy, but I just blotted the once today, and it was just one sheet. It wasn't anything crazy. So overall, I had a really great makeup day. I had a really good skin day, except for my humongous zit right here, which is just kind of exploded and is very painful, and is on my lip, which is always the worst location for a zit. In real life, today is the day that I reached 1,000 subscribers, so I would like to thank you all again so much for joining me here, watching my videos, checking out these reviews with me, giving me all your feedback, comments, opinions, corrections, all of that. I really appreciate it, and I really, again, want to thank you so much for taking the time out to watch and reply to all my videos. Of course, if you haven't already, make sure you do subscribe down below, leave me any feedback, hit like if you enjoyed this video, and with that, I will say goodbye for now until tomorrow's video. Bye!